What up, YouTube? Big Lou tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou and FZR2. Baby, baby. It's that bean eating mofo, Puerto Rican, banana boat riding, you know what, wannabe baseball player slash boxer with the cardboard mitt. Anyways, it's your boy. It's Big Lou right here, as y'all already know. Tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou and FZR2. No flies on Ricans too. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little intro. Even though nobody's here yet, this is for people, because people will come back and watch it later on. I got another one titled after this about DVI, Dual Vocational Institution. The thumbnail, I know this place very well, like the back of my hand. I've been there like 8 times. But with that being said, hold on. With that being said, if this is the first time you're coming to this channel at What It Do with Big Lou and FZR2, it'd be highly appreciated if you sub, like, share the channel with your family, friends, folks, comrades, camaradas, gente, pals, buddies, whatever you use, the word you use to describe your friend. Share the channel, right? Also, be sure to comment on the channel, and I guarantee that I respond back to every comment, because subscribers are important, and I appreciate also at the No Fly Zone, we appreciate all our subscribers, right? Also, go to the original channel, the No Fly Zone Ricans, where I'm part of a 3-man crew. Be sure to sub, like, share that channel as well, and leave comments. And like I mentioned, I respond back to the comments, as well as sometimes Carlos does too, and Nelson. With that being said, I want to shout out, excuse me, I want to shout out Chris Trock. I was on Chris Trock's channel last night, along with Roscoe. What up, Roscoe? We had a good discussion over there last night. We were on there for a while, to the point where we're so damn tired, right? Also, let me shut this down because it's getting kind of loud, this beeping noise. Also, Roscoe, shout out Roscoe, Scotland. Also the OG himself, the dapper old man, Don Claudio Perry. He's always sharp to the T's, to the nines. He came on. Also, Carmel. Also want to give a shout out to, yeah, that was cool last night. I also want to give a shout out to Harvey at Harvey Talks Prison. We've been doing a little bit of collabing over there. We did a couple videos already. He dropped one on, we recorded it on Tuesday. He dropped it on Wednesday. And the second one we did Thursday, recorded Thursday. He dropped it Friday. So he likes to drop his videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we, the Zoom meetings, when we do it, it's only 30 minutes. So the time went like that. The first two parts so far. So it looks like it's going to be like probably 5 parts by the time we complete it, at least. But, when you get into things, you start, because he's from Missouri, different system, obviously. It's the Midwest. It's not the West Coast. As most people know, California is, the cream of the creme, right? When it comes to the politic, and it's, the most, it's hardcore politics. Just put it that way. Everything's by race and all that, and and then depending what group segment you run with, it gets even deeper than that. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Harvey. If you guys haven't already, go to his channel, give him a sub also, and check out his videos. These videos are short and sweet, not very long, but he gets to the point. Whatever his topic is, he gets to the point, and he's also with the message. The message being trying to divert, detour youngsters from making some of the mistakes, and not even so much youngsters. It could be young men too, even older men. Like me, I didn't get it right away. It took me till I was 38, 39, something like that. Excuse me. And it is what it is. So he's with the movement, with the message. Also, shout out Stay Awake TV. He just passed the 1,000 subs. Go and check him out. Give him a sub. Stay Awake TV. And the wake has nothing to do with woke or none of that. I'm just letting you guys know it's not. It doesn't mean that. He does reaction videos, and he also like police chases and things like that. And then he also does he tells his story on, you know, some of his lockup stories, some of his personal stories and from his life, how he grew up. Also go check out Big Weavy, Doing Time with Big Weavy. He's cruising for that 1,000K. You know, he's got like 660 subs, something like that. Also go check out Gangish. Gangish just passed 1,000 subs as well. Go and give him a sub, a like, and share as well. All these channels, I push these channels. You know, we're considered in the circles. Also, Vegas Prison Stories. Also, Yard Recall with Buzz. Also, Sea Dog and Cooper podcast. Also, check out iTalk If They Only Knew. Also, check out Real Spit with Latin Pain. These are all guys. Then Just Chilling's here. Just Chilling. What up, man? We're at the party at Lou. Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna do this one right here on some baseball players. From what I remember growing up in the early mid '80s, certain baseball players have stuck out to me. So I put the thumbnail of Wade Boggs of the Boston Red Sox, third baseman. I put George Brett, third baseman from the Kansas City Royals, and then later on, towards the end of his career, he moved to first base. And then you got first baseman from the New York Yankees, Don Mattingly. These guys were like top-notch hitters in the '80s. These guys hit for average. They had excellent batting averages. You know, Don Mattingly did have power. You know, he had some years with 30-plus home runs, 130 RBIs, 120 RBIs. George Brett would get RBIs, but he was more with average and base hits and things like that. Wade Boggs, of course, led the league in batting average like 10 seasons or something like that. So we're going to get into that. And then I got another video scheduled for, what is it? I think 950 or something like that. It's about DVI, Dual Vocational Institution. You guys see the thumbnail. I know that place so well, like the back of my hand. I've been there like 8 times. Excuse me. And I'm going to tell you guys a few stories about it. When we get there, I'll let you know. I don't want to talk about now. You might forget things that's in the picture. So you guys know I talked about San Quentin yesterday or the day before. That's one reception center in the Northern California, and then the other one being DVI. But I will get to that when I get there. So I want to shout out those channels. If you haven't already, go and give them a sub. I'm having a lot of I just bought a new phone because I was having all kinds of problems with my phone. It didn't work for a couple of days. And I go and get this new phone, and I get it dressed up with the case and all that. And I can't get the freaking the Bluetooth to work. I don't understand. Never had an issue with that before, ever in my life. So anyways, that's where I'm at with that. Frustrated like heck. I've been dealing with it for like an hour and a half, trying to get it to work. It's just not working. Everything, all kinds of other devices are popping up, but not the freaking car. Welcome to the Big Lou Sports Telethon, ESPN. God bless you, Big Lou. Our respects always. Yeah, well, Edwin, I need you, igualmente, I need you to call your contacts in San Juan, right? Equipo Deportes, right? Or los indios de Mayagüez, right? Or cangrejeros de donde era? De San Juan, cangrejeros. Or Santurce, Santurce, no, Mayagüez indios y Santurce cangrejeros. There you go. I don't remember the name of the Caguas team, baseball. Anyways, yeah, I need you to make that phone call. You know what I'm saying? Te necesito hacer la llamada allá a la oficina para meterme ahí adentro para trabajar por la noticia de deporte, ¿me entiendes? Vaya. And then Bayamón does Bayamón have a team? Let me see. Santurce has a team. Mayagüez has a team. Caguas has a team. And then there's one more team, I believe. Criollos de Caguas. That's right. So Criollos de Caguas, Santurce Cangrejero, Indios de Mayagüez, and what's the other team? I'm pretty sure there's another team. Can you imagine all that though? All them badass stars that they had that would go to Puerto Rico to play. Even guys that weren't Puerto Rican, and, you know, white dudes, black dudes, they go down there and play too because they want to play too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of superstars went there. I remember Cal Ripken used to go there a lot and play. So what I was saying was, and I haven't even got no sleep. I haven't even slept yet since this morning with Chris Trock, and I haven't even slept yet. I'm surprised I'm awake still right now. I'm surprised. Not only am I awake right now, I'm surprised that I don't feel droggy or tired or nothing. That's weird because now I just said that and I felt a little tired feeling. So anyways, so yeah, I was a little frustrated. Get this new phone. I can't get the damn Bluetooth to work on it. All these other devices, when I'm running paired of devices, like there's like 8-10 different devices popping up. But I mean, one says a TV, one says a Samsung, a sound bar. Where is this stuff at? I don't have none of that around me. And why ain't the freaking car Bluetooth popping up when that's right there? I don't get it, man. I was getting freaking frustrated, and then I finally just said the heck with it, and I used this phone. I went to use this phone, which is my work phone. So, anyways, so back to the thumbnail here. So we got George Brett, Don Mattingly, and Wade Boggs. So I'm going to start with George Brett because he's the veteran out of the three. I mean, they're all veterans now because they all played, you know, they all came into the league. Don Mattingly and, you know, Wade Boggs came in the league like 83, I think, Wade Boggs, and then Don Mattingly like 82, I think. But George Brett came in the 70s. So George Brett was part of, you know, he came, okay, let's put it this way too. George Brett played only for the Royals. You know, he came out sometime in the 70s. I'm gonna look that up right now, but I think I wanna guess and say he came out in 1973. I think it was George Brett, and George Brett was on the Royals with Willie Wilson, with Hal McRae, with Frank White, Dan Quisenberry. I said Willie Wilson already. Those are the dudes that were like, boom, you know what I'm saying? Those were, when you think of the Royals, those are the Royals from the 80s. And then they played I think it was 85. I believe it was 85. They played the Cardinals in the World Series. Yeah, a lot of players come out of Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, and Cuba, then superstars at the end. Costa Rica? Who came out of Costa Rica? I can't tell you one person. So back in the day, it was Puerto Ricans. Well, back in the day, it was Cubans. A lot of Cubans, like in the Negro leagues and all that. Because a lot of Cubans are Afro-Cubano, which, you know, basically Afro-Cuban, and there were a lot of them. You know, a lot of Cubans. Here and there, there'd be a Puerto Rican. You know, more often than other countries such as Venezuela, things like that. Then Puerto Ricans got majority, right? Probably in around maybe the 70s and 80s, and then Dominicans were big, and the Dominicans are still big now, but now you have a lot of Venezuelans. You got a lot of Venezuelans now in the majors. I can't think of nobody that came out of Costa Rica. Out of Panama, you got Rod Carew and Mariano Rivera, who was huge star for the Yankees, all-time leader in his saves, and then his cousin Ruben played, but he didn't make it as big as Mariano Rivera did. Those are the Panamanians I think of. And the reason I said Panamanians because Panama is the last part of Central America. Then you got the Panama Canal and then South America. You really don't hear nobody considering, you know, when they say Central America, consider Panamanian Central America, even though it's at the end of it. Usually it's the cinco montañas, they say, 5 mountains, which is El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. Okay, now Nicaragua, you got Denny Martinez, he was a star pitcher for the Expos and the Indians. Then you have Marvin Bernard, played for the Giants, Nicaraguan, and I believe there's one more. I don't know why I can't think of who it is right now. And then you have nobody from Honduras, El Salvador, or Guatemala. Nobody I can think of. Venezuela, like I said, you got a lot of guys now. Venezuelan, Miguel Cabrera, Pablo Sandoval, Melky Cabrera, Jose Altuve. You know what I mean? Puerto Rico still got their guys. Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa. Javi Baez. You know what I mean? There's some Cubanos playing still. Android Chapman. Let's see who else is Cuban that's out there. There's a few more. And then Dominicans. There's still a lot of Dominicans. Gary Sanchez. You know. Those are yeah. There's still a lot of Dominicans. Albert Pujols. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'll keep it real. I don't really watch baseball nowadays no more. I don't really watch baseball. You know, unless they're OG ready, and you know they're self-established. Then I know who they are. But really, I don't watch baseball. I don't really watch football. I get into it like just before the season starts. But mainly my team. You know what I'm saying? It's not like back in, you know, like back right now when I'm going to revert right now to these 80s when I was first coming into baseball and learning baseball and learning the players and everything with, you know, and that goes for football, basketball, baseball, boxing. I did it all at the same time. Sorry, Costa Rica. I might have got mixed up. We had Costa Rica and Scotland in the World Cup. Yeah, Costa Rica plays all those Central American teams right there. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Salvador, Honduras. They play soccer big time too, just like Mexico. But as far as professional, even when it comes to boxing, there's no boxers from El Salvador, Guatemala, or Honduras. Now you have a kid out of Brooklyn. His name is Teofimo Lopez. He's from Brooklyn, but he's of Honduran descent, and he was champion not too long ago. But Cambosos from Australia took the belts from him, and then he just recently lost to Devin Haney. But that's boxing. And then when it comes to like Panama, you have a couple guys from Panama. Roberto Duran, obviously. Let's see, Panama, Roberto Duran. It's the only one I can think of right now from Panama. I know there's one or two more. And then I remember from Nicaragua was Mayorga, Ricardo Mayorga, Alexis Aguayo. They were from Nicaragua, right? Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Costa Rica, no, I can't recall anybody. The greatest Latino fighters is Mexico, Puerto Rico, and then you have a few in between that are, you know, Cubans. You know, the Cubans always have been A1A, excellent in amateur boxing, right? Catch you later, Big Lou. Te echo la bendición. Have a great show. Yep. Thank you. Hey, yeah, Lomachenko, he had Cambosos beat him. I thought you said baseball, bro. Lomachenko didn't beat Cambosos. Fimo Lopez beat Lomachenko, and then Cambosos beat Lopez, and then Cambosos lost to David Haney recently, but they're gonna rematch. So, yeah, but no, what I was just saying was about the countries, the Central American countries not having no pro baseball, and then the few countries that had boxers from them countries. Yeah, so yeah, Mayorga, Alexis Aguayo, Nicaragua. Those are the ones that stick out to me right now. Yeah, man, Lomachenko, he had Cambosos. No. Okay. So George Brett. Let's figure that out. George Brett, right? So like I said, I gave a background on George Brett. He played for the he played for the Royals, right? With Willie Wilson. When you think of him, it's Willie Wilson. Yeah, Pine Tar famous. Yeah, that's what it is. I want to get to all that. Yeah, thank you. So he had a home run he hit, and it was called back because they said he used too much pine tar on the bat. When he wiped down the bat, there was too much pine tar. Oops. So George Howard Brett, he's born in May 15, 1953. Like you guys already know, American baseball player, 21 seasons, third baseman for the Royals. But like I had mentioned, he got moved on over to first base later in his career, and he probably played some DH before he went out. He's from West Virginia. He bats left, throws right. So he made his debut on August 2nd, 1973. So I said 74, which probably still is his rookie season, because just because you made your debut doesn't mean that's necessarily your rookie season, because you got to have a certain amount of at-bats and all that. He hit over 300 in 1990, 300 hits or 300 for an average. So these are his so his lifetime average is 305 hitter. That's good. So that means every pretty much every 10 times he comes up, he gets a hit, at least 3. 3,151 hits, which that's a milestone for a hitter to hit, 3,000 hits. There's not that many players that do it. I mean, you might hear maybe 150 players. I know it's nothing like that. It's probably about 40 players that've done it. That sounds like a lot, but it really is not. If you look at the overall, of all the players over all the years, it's not that many. He hit 317 home runs, so he did have a little bang in his bat, and he batted in almost 1,600 runs batted in. If you guys don't know what a run batted in means, is that you come up to hit, somebody's on base, and you either get a hit that, they're able to run around the base and tag in home, or it could be a sacrifice fly or a grounder that there's more than one. There's not, say there's one out or no outs and the guy's on third, and you ground it out and they throw you out at first, but that runner still comes in and scores. That still would be an RBI. Or if there's an out, one out, no outs or one out, and you hit it way out in the outfield, and they call that a sacrifice fly, because once the outfielder catches the ball, then the runner tags up on the bag and then runs to home and scores, and that's still an RBI. Runs batted in. That's what RBI stands for. So he's a 13-time. So he played 21 seasons. He's a 13-time All-Star. So from 1976 to 1988, he made every All-Star game. He won the World Series in '85. I mentioned that. They played the Cardinals. He's an AL MVP in 1980. He's an ALCS MVP in 1985. He's only got one Golden Glove, though. That's good. But, most guys have multiple. He's a 3-time Silver Slugger Award, 1980, 1985, 1988. He's a 3-time batting champion. So that means he led the league in America. He led the American League 3 times in batting, 1976, 1980, and 1990. So that's probably what Soldier of Jehovah said, 390. So when he was up for let's see, what was his last year? His last year was 93. So 5 years you're eligible. Is it 5 years or 7? No, I think it's 7 years. 7 years you're eligible for to be voted in the All-Star. The Hall of Fame. And he made it in with 98% of the vote. First ballot Hall of Famer. So the very first time he came up for Hall of Fame, he got voted in with 98% of the vote. I think Barry Bonds this year you got to get 75% of the vote, I think it is. Barry Bonds got like 60% of the vote this year. So Brett's one. Okay, so here we go, guys. Remember I told you that there's maybe 40 guys that did it? I'm going to let you know right now. So Brett's 3,151 career hits are second most by any third baseman in Major League history, after Adrian Beltre. So that's a Dominican that retired a couple years back, and he has 12 more hits than George Brett. He's got 3,166, and then he also has 477 home runs. And ranked 18th all time. He is one of 5 players in Major League Baseball history to accumulate 3,000 hits, 300 home runs, and have a career average of 300 batting. And the other 4 to do it is Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Stan the Man Musial, and Miguel Cabrera, who's still playing. So look at those names he's in. These are the only 5 guys in Major League Baseball history to have over 3,000 hits, at least 3,000 hits or more, at least 300 home runs or more, and a career batting average of .300 or better. And it's Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, and Miguel Cabrera. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome 5 guys right there. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in '99 on the first ballot. Okay, I just mentioned that. And is the only player in baseball history to win a batting title in 3 different decades. So remember I said he won it in '76, 1980, and 1990. So that's one in the '70s, one in the '80s, one in the '90s. See, so record books right there. He also was a member of the Royals 85 World Series team over the Cardinals. Okay, I mentioned that. Brett was named the Royals interim hitting coach in 2013 on May 30th, but stepped down from the position on July 25th in order to resume his position of vice president of baseball operations. Wow. So this dude is bad arf. Feel me? You feel me? Let's see what it is. Well, let's give a little background. So like I said, he came up in West Virginia, in Glendale. He was the youngest of 4 sons of a sports-minded family, which included Ken, the second oldest, a Major League pitcher. So one of his brothers pitched in the 1967 World Series, only at 19 years old. His brothers John is the eldest, and Bobby had brief careers in the minor leagues. Although his three older brothers were born in Brooklyn, George was born in the northern panhandle of West Virginia. Jack and Ethel Brett then moved the family to Midwest, and 3 years later to El Segundo, California, a suburb of LA, just south of Los Angeles International Airport. George grew up hoping to follow in his footsteps of his three older brothers. He graduated from El Segundo High School in 1971 and was selected by the Royals in the second round, 20 pick overall of the 1971 baseball draft. He was high school teammates with pitcher Scott McGregor, and he lived in Mission Hills, Kansas when they moved to the Midwest. Okay, let's give a little background on his minor league. Brett began his professional baseball career as a shortstop, but had trouble going to his right defensively, and was soon shifted to third base. As a third baseman, his powerful arm remained an asset, and he remained at that spot for more than 15 years. Brett's minor league stops were at the Billings Mustangs for the rookie level Pioneer League in 71, the San Jose Bees of the Class A California League in 72, the Omaha Royals of AAA American Association in 73, batting 291, 274, and 284, respectively. Kansas City Royals, 1973 to 1993. The Royals promoted Brett to major leagues on August 2nd, 1973, when he played in 13 games and was 5 for 40 with a 125 average at 20 years old. Okay, so remember I mentioned earlier, just because you get called up to the majors, and you make your debut doesn't mean that's considered your rookie season. You got to have a certain amount of at bats, and obviously a certain amount of games to have a certain amount of at bats. So he only went in 13 games, 5 for 40, and so that's not considered his rookie season. Okay, fast forward to 1974. Brett won the starting third base job in 1974, but struggled at the plate until he asked for help from Charlie Lau, the Royals batting coach. Spending the All-Star break working together, Lau taught Brett how to protect the entire plate and cover up some holes in his swing that experienced big league pitchers were exploiting. Armed with this knowledge, Brett developed rapidly as a hitter and finished the year with a 282 average in the 113 games. Okay, 75 through 79, Brett topped the 300 mark for the first time in 1975, hitting 308 and leading the league in hits and triples. That's nice. And he then won his first batting title in 76 with a 333 average. So that means every 9 times he came up, he got a hit 3 times. The 4 contenders for the batting title that year were Brett and Royals teammate Hal McRae and Minnesota teammates Rod Carew and Lyman Bostock. In dramatic fashion, Brett went 2 for 4 in the final game of the season against the Twins, beating out his 3 rivals, all playing in the same game. His lead over second place McRae was less than .001. Brett won the title when a fly ball dropped in front of Twins left fielder Steve Bray, bounced on the Royal Stadium AstroTurf and over Bray's head to the wall. Brett circled the bases for an inside the park home run. Wow, inside the park home run. McRae batted just behind Brett in the lineup, grounded out, and Brett won his first batting title. So that's cool. From May 8th through May 13, 1976, Brett had 3 or more hits in 6 consecutive games, a major league record. Wow, he's in a lot of he's got a lot of things going on there. A month later, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated for a feature article and made his first of 13 All-Star teams. The Royals won the first of 3 straight American League West Division titles, beginning a great rivalry with the New York Yankees, whom they faced in the American League Championship Series each of those 3 years. In the 5th and final game of the 76 ALCS, that stands for American League Championship Series, Brett hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 8th inning to tie the score at 6, only to see the Yankees' Chris Chambliss launch a solo shot in the bottom of the 9th to give the Yankees a 7-6 win. Brett finished second in the American League MVP voting to Thurman Munson, a Yankee. A year later, Brett emerged as a power hitter, clubbing 22 homers as the Royals headed to another ALCS, and he's shown in archive footage batting against the Yankees in Game 2 of those playoffs in the 2007 television miniseries, The Bronx is Burning. In Game 5 of the 1977 ALCS, following an RBI triple, Brett got into an altercation with Greg Needles, which ignited a bench-clearing brawl. Ooh-wee. In 1978, Brett batted .294, the only time between 76 and 83 in which he did not bat over at least 300, and helping the Royals win a third consecutive AL West title. However, the Royals once again lost to the Yankees in the ALCS, but not before Brett hit 3 home runs off of Catfish Hunter in Game 3. So Catfish Hunter is known to be, he was a good pitcher for the Yankees, but when you think of Catfish Hunter, you think of him with the Oakland A's, actually the Kansas City A's first before they came to Oakland, and he was on the Oakland A's when they won 3 World Series back to back, which was 1970. What was it? It was either 71, 72, 73, or it was 72, 73, 74. It was Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, Raleigh Fingers, Joe Rudy, Ray Fosse, Sal Bando, all those guys. So let's see. Royals once again lost to the Yankees in the ALCS, but not before. Okay, he hit 3 home runs off of Catfish in Game 3, becoming the second player to hit 3 home runs in an ALCS game. Bob Robertson was the first, having done so in Game 2 of the 1971 NLCS. Brett followed with a successful 1979 season in which he finished 3rd in AL voting. He became the 6th player in league history to have at least 20 doubles, triples, and homers all in one season. 42, 20, and 23, and led the league in hits, doubles, triples, while batting .329 on an base and with an on-base percentage of .376 and a slugging percentage of .563. That's pretty good. 1980, all these impressive statistics were just a prelude to the 1980 when Brett won the MVP of the American League and batted .390, almost close to 400, a modern record for a third baseman. Brett's batting average was at or above 400 as late in the season as September 19th, and the country closely followed his quest to bat 400 for an entire season, a feat which has not been accomplished since Ted Williams in 1941. That record is not going to be ever broke by Ted Williams. I think it was 429, 427, 417, 418, or something like that. And so that average of 390 is only second to Tony Gwynn's 1994 average of 394. Gwynn played in 110 games and had 419 at-bats in the strike-shortened season compared to Brett's 449 at-bats in 80 for the highest single-season batting average since 1941. Brett recorded 118 runs batted in while appearing in just 117 games. Wow. He had 118 runs batted in. That means he knocked in 118 people to score in only 117 games. So he had 1 more RBI than games he actually played in. That's amazing. It was the first instance of a player averaging 1 RBI per game in more than 100 games since Walt Dropo 30 seasons prior. He led the American League in both slugging and on base percentage. So let's see. Fast forwarded to the part. Here we go. On July 24, 1983. Oh, that's my birthday. I turned 5 years old that day. But the Royals playing against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium in the top of the 9th inning with 2 out. Brett hit a go-ahead 2-run homer off of Goose Gossage to put the Royals up 5-4. After the home run, Yankees manager Billy Martin cited to the umpires a rule stating that any foreign substance on a bat could extend no further than 18 inches from the knob. The umpires used by hitters to improve their grip on Brett's bat. The pine tar extended about 24 inches. The home plate ump, Tim McClellan, signaled Brett out and ending the game as the Yankees win. Enraged, Brett charged out of the dugout directly toward McClellan and had to be physically restrained by 2 umpires and Royals manager Dick Hauser. Yeah, I heard that name a long time, Dick Hauser. So basically what that meant was they only could put pine tar 18 inches up their bat from the bottom of the knob, and they measured his like 24 inches. So they took away the home run, and it didn't count as a go-ahead home run for the Royals, and they got the loss against the Yankees. Notice that all the main and important games in the series is all against the Yankees. 1985, Brett had another brilliant season in which he helped propel the Royals to their second American League championship. He batted .335 with 30 home runs and 112 RBIs, finishing in the top 10 of the league in 10 different offensive categories. Defensively, he won his only Golden Glove, which broke Buddy Bell's 6-year run of the award. And finished second in American League voting to Don Mattingly. In the final week of the regular season, he went 9 for 20 at the plate with 7 runs, 5 homers, and 9 RBIs in 6 crucial games, 5 of them victories, as the Royals closed the gap and won the division title at the end. He was MVP of the 85 playoffs against the Blue Jays with an incredible Game 3 with KC down in the series 2-0. Brett went 4 for 4, homering in his first 2 at-bats. Homering his first 2 at-bats against Doyle Alexander and doubled to the same spot in right field in his 3rd at-bat, leading the Royals' comeback. Brett then batted .370 in the World Series against the Cardinals, including 4-hit performance in Game 7. The Royals again rallied from a 3-1 deficit to become the World Series champions for the first time in their history. Wow. And then not too long ago, they won again, too. Okay, so now this is from 86 to 93. So this is really when I was, when I was really into it. 84, 85, 86, but this one's going to start in 86 up until 93. I think by that time, 93, I was kind of stepping away a little bit. In 88, Brett moved across the diamond to first base. Okay, I had mentioned this before. He played hard like Pete Rose. Yeah, these guys were hustlers, man. So he moved across the diamond to first base, and they also got a guy named Kevin Sicer who played third base. He was a prospect, So he was moved across the diamond to first base in an effort to reduce his chances of injuries, and another top-notch season with a .306 average, 24 home runs, and 103 RBIs. So he's still producing in 1988, already like 15 years into his career. But after batting just .282 with 12 homers the next season, it looked like his career might be slowing down. He got off to a terrible start in 1990, and at one point even considered retirement. But his manager, former teammate John Wathan, encouraged him to stick it out. Finally, in July, the slump ended, and Brett batted .386 for the rest of the season. Wow. In September, he caught Ricky Henderson for the league lead, and a battle down to the last day of the season, captured his 3rd batting title with the .39 mark. This feature made Brett the only major league player to win 3 batting titles in 3 consecutive decades. Okay. You sound like people are walking behind me. Brett played 3 more seasons for the Royals, mostly as designated hitter. So see, now he moved to designated hitter. This is all in an effort to keep them from, running around, sliding, and things like that, to keep them as healthy as possible, but occasionally filling in for injured teammates at first base. He passed the 3,000 hit mark in 1992, though he was picked off by the Angels first baseman Gary Gaetti after stepping off the base to start enjoying the moment. Brett retired after the 1993 season. In his final at-bat, he hit a single up the middle against Rangers closer Tom Henke and scored on a home run by now teammate Gary Gaetti. His last game was also notable as being the final game ever played at Arlington Stadium. So imagine that. Brett was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1990, with what was then the 4th highest voting percentage in baseball history, 98.2%, trailing only Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, and Ty Cobb. In 2007, Cal Ripken Jr. passed Brett with 98.5% of the vote. His voting percentage was higher than all-time outfielders Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Ted Williams, Stan Musial, and Joe DiMaggio. George Brett's number 5 was retired by the Kansas City Royals on May 14, 1994. His number was the 2nd number retired in Royals history, preceded by Royals manager Dick Hauser, number 10 in 87. It was followed by second baseman and longtime teammate Frank White's number 20 in 1995. He was voted the hometown hero for the Royals in a 2-month fan vote. This was revealed on the night of September 27, 2006, in an hour-long telecast on ESPN. So his legacy, his 3,154 career hits are second most by any third baseman in Major League history. He's behind 12 hits behind Adrian Beltre and 18th all time. So he has the 18th most hits ever in baseball. Let's see. So George Brett's considered the second best third baseman all time behind Mike Schmidt. In 99, he ranked 55 on the Sporting News list of 100 greatest baseball players and was nominated as a finalist for the Major League Baseball All-Century team. Brett is one of 5 players in Major League Baseball to accumulate. Okay, this is that same one. He's one of 5 players. So him and 4 other players have at least 3,000 hits, 3,000 hits, 300 homers, and batted career at least 300. And it's him, George Brett, and the 4 others are Stan the Man Musial, Willie Mays, Miguel Cabrera, and Hank Aaron. Let's see, Brett is 6 on the career doubles list with 665, trailing Tris Speaker, Pete Rose, Stan Musial, Ty Cobb, and Craig Biggio. So this guy is he's got a lot of things going on for himself as far as record book stuff, or being in the books. A photo in July of '76 edition of National Geographic showing Brett signing baseballs for fans with his team's name embossed across his shirt was inspiration for New Zealand singer-songwriter Lord's 2013 song Royals, which won the 2014 Grammy Award for Song of the Year. Yeah, I remember that song. So that's George Brett. This guy was a bad. Hey, shut your mouth, right? And then I'm gonna go with Wade Boggs. There was a kid I went to school with, and he said that Wade Boggs was his cousin somehow. And me and this kid we were in Gung Fu class together, and we also used to talk baseball together, and we'd make our own all-time teams and things like that. So this is way before, we were in elementary school. We're like 3rd grade, 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? So this is before, this is, Barry Bonds, Canseco's, McGuire's. They're like barely in their second, third seasons of their careers at this time. Okay, so Wade Boggs, he's born in 1958, June. He's American professional baseball player, played third base. He played 18 seasons in the majors, mostly with the Red Sox, but he also played with the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He won the 1996 World Series with the Yankees over Atlanta Braves. Boggs became the 23rd player to reach 3,000 career hits. His hitting in the 80s and 90s made him a perennial contender for American League batting titles. He is 33rd on the list of career leaders for batting average among Major League Baseball players with a minimum of 1,000 plate appearances and has the highest ranking of those still alive. Boggs was elected to the Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2004 and the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2005. So he's born in Omaha, Nebraska. He bats left and throws right, just like George Brett. He made his debut on April 10, 1982 for the Red Sox, and his last game was on August 27, 1999 for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And they just go by the Devil Rays now, Tampa Bay Rays. Excuse me, not the Devil Rays, but the Tampa Bay Rays. He finished his career .328 hitter. He has 3,010 hits. He only hit 118 home runs, and he's got 1,014 RBIs. He played for the Red Sox from 82 to 92. He played for the Yankees from 93 to 97, and he played for Tampa Bay from 98, 99. Here's some of his career highlights and awards. He's a 12-time All-Star, 1985 through 1996. World Series champion in 1996. He's a 2-time Golden Glove Award winner, 1994 and 1995. He's an 8-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 1983, 1986, 87, 88, 89, 1991, 1993, 1994. He's a 5-time American League batting champion, 1983, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988. His Boston Red Sox numbers retired, 26, and his Tampa Bay Rays numbers retired, 12. And he's in the Boston Red Sox Hall of Fame. He got in Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2005. And he had 92% of the vote. With 12 straight All-Star appearances, Boggs is third only to Brooks Robinson and George Brett in number of consecutive appearances as a third baseman. In 97, he ranked number 95 on the Sporting News list of the 100 greatest baseball players. Boggs, a 1976 graduate of Plant High School in Tampa, Florida, resides in the Tampa Palms neighborhood of Tampa. Okay, let's give a little background on him. Like I said, he's born in Omaha, Nebraska. He's the youngest of 3 sons of Winfield Kennedy Boggs Jr. and Sue Nell Graham. Wade had a regimented military upbringing. Winfield and Sue met in 1946 at a military base in Georgia. Winfield served with the Marines in World War II and flew for the Air Force in the Korean War. This is his father. His mother now, while Sue piloted mail planes in World War II. The Boggs family lived in several different places, including Puerto Rico and Savannah, Georgia, before settling in Tampa, Florida. When Wade was 11 years old, he attended Plant High School in Tampa, where he played baseball and was an all-state football player as a senior. Boggs played quarterback until his senior year, when he switched positions to avoid injury and thereby protect his baseball career. His success as a left-footed place kicker and punter earned him a scholarship offer from the University of South Carolina. He graduated from Plant High School in 1976 and was selected by the Boston Red Sox in the 7th round of the 1976 Major League Draft on the advice of veteran scout George Digby. He signed with the club for a whopping $7,500. Wowzers. Imagine that. Okay, so left-handed hitter, Boggs won 5 AL batting titles starting in 1983. He also batted .349 in his rookie season. Damn, that's good. Which would have won the batting title, but he was 121 plate appearances short of the required minimum of 502. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. You got to have a certain amount of at-bats before it's no longer your rookie season. So he only had 121 at-bats. He was batting almost .350, but the requirement is you got to have 502 at-bats. So from 82 to 88, Boggs hit below .349 only once, batting .325 in 84, and that's still a good batting average. From 1983 to 1989, Boggs rattled off 7 consecutive seasons in which he collected 200 or more hits, an American League record for consecutive 200-hit seasons that was surpassed by Seattle's Ichiro Suzuki. Bonds also had 6 seasons with 200 or more hits, 100-plus runs, 40-plus doubles, although he would not win another batting title after 88. His batting title that year broke Bill Madlock's Major League record of 4 by a third baseman. He regularly appeared among the leaders in hitting. In 85, Boggs had 72 multiple hit games. That means in 72 games, he had at least 2 hits. In 86, Boggs made it to the World Series with the Red Sox, but they lost to the New York Mets in 7 games. He holds the record for batting average at Fenway Park at .369. Boggs had a power surge in 87, setting career highs with 24 home runs, 89 RBIs, and a .588 slugging percentage. He never hit half as many home runs in any other season. That's a trip. He probably was juiced up. In 92, Boggs slumped to .259, one of only 3 times in his career that he failed to reach 300, and at the end of the season, he left the Red Sox, with whom he had spent his entire career. To that point, he was heavily pursued by 2 teams, the Dodgers and the arch rival of the Red Sox, the New York Yankees. He chose the Yankees when they added the 3rd year to his contract that the Dodgers would not offer. Boggs went on to be awarded 3 straight All-Star appearances, had 3 straight 300-plus seasons at batting average, and collected 2 Golden Gloves for his defense. In 96, Boggs helped the Yankees win their first World Series in 18 years against the Atlanta Braves, which became his only World Series title. In the series' 4th game that saw the Yankees rally from 6 runs down to tie it, Boggs was called on to pinch hit in the 10th inning. Using the batting eye he was known for throughout his career, he drew a bases-loaded walk out of Steve Avery, forcing in the go-ahead run and ultimately win 8-6, evening the series. After the Yankees won the series in 6 games, Boggs memorably celebrated by jumping on the back of a NYPD horse, touring the field with his index finger in the air despite his self-professed fear of horses. Okay, now Boggs signs with the Tampa Bay Rays for the final 2 seasons of his career. He hit the first home run in the Devil Rays history in the 6th inning of the inaugural game on March 31st, 1998. On August 7, 1999, he collected his 3,000th hit with a home run. Despite his reputation for lacking home run power, he was the first player in history to hit a home run. followed by Derek Jeter on July 9, 2011. Alex Rodriguez on June 19, 2015. Boggs retired in 1999. I guess I am feeling tired now. After sustaining a knee injury, leaving with a career batting average of .328 and 3,010 hits. His last game was on August 27, 1999. He went 0-3 with a walk against the Cleveland Indians. So his baseball legacy, his numbers retired in Tampa Bay, number 12, and his number 26 retired by the Red Sox. Boggs' career paralleled that of Tony Gwynn, who was also debuted in the National League in 1982. But the difference between Tony Gwynn and Boggs was Tony Gwynn was a star basketball player for the University or San Diego State University. He was a All-American basketball player too. In '82, Boggs, Gwynn were the premier contact hitters of the era. That's right. It was always Boggs in the American League and Tony Gwynn in the National for a while. They both won multiple batting titles, Boggs 5 and Tony Gwynn 8, and each won 4 straight batting titles, adjoining Ty Cobb, Rogers Hornsby, and Rod Carew as the only players to do so. Gwynn and Boggs each hit over .350 in 4 straight seasons, the only players to do so since 1931. They joined Lou Brock and Rod Carew as the only players whose careers ended after World War II who finished with 3,000 hits and fewer than 160 home runs. Boggs was inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2005 and is depicted with the Red Sox cap. Tommy John noted that Wade Boggs always seemed to know what the next pitch was going to be for pure hitting. Boggs is the best I've ever seen. Tommy John wrote in '91, he's a phenomenal pure hitting machine. I've never seen anything like him. He'll light you up. Boggs recorded 2 innings and a third innings of pitching at major league level. His main pitch was a knuckleball, which he used 16 times, along with 1 fastball in 1 shutout inning for the Yankees against the Anaheim Angels in a '97 game. So he actually pitched. Boggs recorded a strikeout pitching during that game. Boggs also pitched 1 1/3 innings for Tampa Bay against the Orioles in '99, allowing 1 run. That's something else. I didn't know that. In his 18-year career, Boggs recorded 3 5-hit games and 59 4-hit games. Wow, that's pretty good. On June 29, '87, he had a career-high 7 RBIs against the Orioles in a 14-3 victory at Fenway Park. That's what's up. Just gotta give you a little bit about what he does out of baseball. So Boggs garnered non-baseball related media attention in '89 for his 4-year extramarital affair with Margot Adams, a California mortgage broker. After Boggs ended the relationship in '88, Adams filed a $12 million lawsuit for emotional distress and breach of oral contract. She argued that Boggs had verbally, I don't want to talk about that. Ain't got nothing to do with baseball. That's his business. Hall of Fame plaque, cap logo controversy. So before his retirement, Boggs was plagued by newspaper reports that the expansion Devil Rays gave him financial compensation in return for selecting a Devil Rays cap for his plaque at the Baseball Hall of Fame, though he has denied that any such condition was part of his contract. In light of those reports and other rumors that teams were offering number retirement money or organizational jobs in exchange for the cap designation, the Hall of Fame decided in '01 to change its practice of deferring to the players' wishes regarding cap logo selection and reinforced the Hall's authority to determine with which cap the player would be depicted. Boggs is wearing a Boston cap on his plaque. Boggs' mother died in June of '86 in a car accident in Tampa while he was with the Boston Red Sox. Shortly after her death, Boggs and his father bought a fish camp on US 301 just south of Hawthorne, Florida, that they named Yankee Landing Fenway Fish Camp. His father operated it until shortly before his death. Wade and his wife Debbie have 2 children, Brett and Megan. Okay. I don't remember this, but as a baseball player, Boggs made an appearance for the wrestling promotion WWF in '92. He appeared in a vignette with wrestler Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, in which Perfect played baseball. The two remained good friends afterward. 15 years later, in '07, Boggs inducted the late Perfect in the WWE Hall of Fame. I do remember that. Television. Boggs was one of the baseball players featured in the classic The Simpsons episode Homer at the Bat, in which he recruited as a ringer by Mr. Burns for the power plant softball team, only to be knocked out in a bar fight by Barney Gumble. The depicted fight was over whether Lord Palmerston or Pitt the Elder was England's greatest prime minister. Boggs appeared as himself in the Cheers episode Bar Wars, in which he was sent to the bar as an apology by a rival bar. Damn, I'm having a hard time speaking. Okay, he was also in Dead Man's Curb, appeared in Psych episode Dead Man's Curb, Steinfeld, It Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In August 2017, Boggs served as fill-in color commentator for some Boston Red Sox games in Tampa Bay and broadcast on New England Sports Network. Okay, that was cool. So that's Wade Boggs for you guys. I know I ain't got nobody here right now, but I guarantee you people will come back and watch this. Plus we got some Yankee fans. So now we're going to fill this out with Don Mattingly. So Don Mattingly was born April 20th, 1961. So he's the youngest out of the three. I thought he was a little bit older than Boggs, but Boggs got him. Former professional baseball player, first baseman, coach, and manager in MLB, nicknamed the Hitman and Donnie Baseball. He spent his entire 14-year career playing with the New York Yankees and later managed the LA Dodgers for 5 seasons and the Miami Marlins for 7 seasons. He was born in Evansville, Indiana. He bats left, throws left. He made his debut September 8, 1982 for the Yankees. And his last appearance was October 1st, 1995 for the Yankees. Here's his major league career statistics. He's a .307 career hitter. That's good. 2,153 career hits. That's pretty good because he didn't play that long. He had a decent career, 13 seasons. He had 222 home runs. Again, he didn't have that long of a career. He had a lot of injuries towards the end, and 1,100 runs batted in. As a manager, he's 889 wins, 950 losses. So he's got more losses than wins, meaning he's under 500. So yeah, his winning percentage is .483. As a player, as a Yankee from 1982 to 1995. As a manager for the LA Dodgers from 2011 to 2015. Again, manager for the Marlins from 2016 to 2022. As a coach, New York Yankees 2004 to 2007. And then Dodgers 2008 to 2010. These are his career highlights and awards. He's a 6-time All-Star from 1984 to 1989. He's the AL MVP for the 85 season. He's a 9-time Gold Glove Award. So out of this 3, this guy was really, he was a fielder. He can handle it out there. 9-time Golden Glove from 1985, 86, 87, 88, and 89. And then again, he won 91, 92, 93, 94. He's a 3-time Silver Slugger winner, 1985, 1986, 1987. He won the American League batting title in 1984. He won the AL RBI leader in 1985. He's the National League Manager of the Year for 2020. He's the New York Yankees team captain from 1991, 92, 93, 94, and 95. The New York Yankees retired his number 23 jersey. And he's a Monument Park honoree. Okay, so Don Mattingly graduated from Reds Memorial High School in Evansville, Indiana, and was selected by the Yankees in 1979 amateur draft, debuting with the Yankees in '82 after 4 seasons in minor league baseball. He emerged as the Yankees' starting first baseman after a successful rookie season in 1983. Mattingly was named to the American League All-Star team 6 times. He won 9 Golden Gloves. Okay, I read all that stuff already. Returned to the Yankees as a coach in 2004 for the manager Joe Torre. He followed Torre to the Dodgers in 2008 and succeeded him as Dodgers manager in 2011. So he played for the Nashville Sounds in 1981. So that's where he began his minor league career with the won onto Yankees of the Class A short season New York Penn League in '79. He hoped to bat 500 and was disappointed with the 349 batting average. That's excellent. I don't know what he's upset about. Never went lower than 340. Damn. He batted a league-leading 358 and 80 for the Greensboro Hornets of the Class A South Atlantic League, in addition to recording a league-best 177 hits. He won the league MVP award and was named to the postseason All-Star team with the Double-A Nashville Sounds in '81. He hit 316 and led the Southern League with 35 doubles. Okay, so here we go. Major League now. Mattingly made his Major League debut in September of '82 as a late-inning defensive replacement against the Baltimore Orioles. He recorded his first at-bat on September 11th against the Milwaukee Brewers, popping out to third base, probably to Paul Molitor, in the 7th inning. His first career Major League hit occurred in the bottom of the 11th inning against the Red Sox on October 1st, a single to right field off of Steve Crawford. He only had 2 hits and 12 at-bats that season. Mattingly spent his rookie season '83 as a part-time first baseman and outfielder. He hit 283 and 279 at-bats. He hit his first home run on June 24th against John Tudor of the Red Sox. Mattingly became the Yankees' full-time first baseman in '84 with a batting average of .339. He was selected as a reserve in the '84 All-Star Game. Heading into the final game of the season, Mattingly and teammate Dave Winfield were competing for the American League batting title, with Mattingly trailing Winfield by .002 on the final day of the season. Mattingly went 4 for 5, while Winfield batted 1 for 4. Mattingly won the batting title with a .343 average, while Winfield finished second with a .340 average. Mattingly also led the league with 207 hits. He hit a league-leading 44 doubles to go with 23 homers. He was second in the league in slugging percentage, .537, and at bats per strikeout, 18.3. Fourth in total bases, 324. Fifth in RBIs, 110. Sixth in sacrifice flies, 9, and 10th on base percentage, 381. So Mattingly followed up his breakout season with a spectacular '85, winning the MVP award. In the American League, he batted .324, third in the league with 35 homers, fourth in the league, 48 doubles, first in the league, 145 RBIs, first in the league. Then the most RBIs in a season by a left-handed batter. Most RBIs in a season by a left-handed major league batter since Ted Williams drove in 159 in 1949. His 21 RBIs led the category, was the most in the American League since Al Rosen's 30 RBI lead in 1953. He led the league in sacrifice flies, 15, total bases, 370, extra bases, 86, and was second in the AL in hits with 211, and slugging percentage with a .567. Third in intentional walks with 13, and at bats per strikeout, 13.9. Six in runs with 107. Ninth in at bats per home run with 18.6. He batted .354 with 2 out and runners in scoring position. Damn, he was a beast. So he was recognized for his defense, winning his first of 9 Golden Gloves. He was considered such an asset defensively that the Yankees management assigned him to play games at second base and third base early in his career, even though he was a left-handed thrower. Like, you don't see that. The only position you see a left-hander playing in the infield is either pitcher or first base. You don't see second base, shortstop, third base with throws left hand, because the ball goes to your you got the right hand glove. It would make more sense, really, but no, like for third base and stuff. But then if you have to cross, it doesn't work right. So Mattingly had a better year in '86, leading the league with 238 hits, 53 doubles, and breaking the sequel season franchise records set by Earl Combs, 231 hits, and Lou Gehrig, 52 doubles. Both records had been set in 1927. He also recorded 388 total bases and a .573 slugging percentage. He batted .352, second in the league, hit 31 homers, sixth in the league, and drove in 113 runs, third in the league. However, he was beaten in the American League MVP voting by pitcher Roger Clemens, who also won the Cy Young that year. Mattingly also became the last left-handed player to field a ball at third base during a major league game. Yeah. Let's see. In '87, Mattingly tied Dale Long's major league record by hitting home runs in eighth 8 consecutive games from 8 to 18 July. The All-Star game occurred in the middle of the streak. Mattingly, starting at first base, was 0 for 3. This record was later tied again by Ken Griffey Jr. of the Seattle Mariners in 1993. Mattingly also set a record by recording an extra base hit in 10 consecutive games. Mattingly had a record 10 home runs during this streak. Long and Griffey had 8 during their streaks. Also that season, Mattingly set a major league record by hitting 6 grand slams in the season. Damn, that's a lot. During his July home run streak, a record matched by Travis Hoffner during the 2006 season. Mattingly's grand slams in '87 were also the only grand slams of his career. In June '87, it was reported that Mattingly injured his back during some clubhouse horseplay with pitcher Bob Shirley. Though both denied this, nevertheless, he finished with a .327 batting average, 30 home runs, and 115 RBIs. His 4th straight year with at least 110 RBIs between '85 and '87, Mattingly hit 96 home runs with just 114 strikeouts. It's pretty good. Mattingly hit 18 home runs and recorded 88 RBIs in '88, but nonetheless was still in the top 10 in the league in batting average at .311. He rebounded in '89 to 113 RBIs. 113 RBIs, but his average dipped to .303. Mattingly's 5 runs scored on April 30th, '88 marked the 12th time it had been done by a Yankee. So the Yankees ended up acquiring Chino Martinez to succeed Mattingly after the '95 season because he was having a lot of back problems by then. And then unsigned for the '96 season, Mattingly decided to sit out the year and rebuff an inquiry by the Orioles, who tried to sign him as a midseason. Mattingly officially announced his retirement in January of '97. For his career, Mattingly never appeared in the World Series. His tenure with the Yankees marks the team's largest drought without a World Series appearance. The Yankees made the World Series in both '81, the year prior to Mattingly's rookie season, and then '96, the year they sat out, or his last season, excuse me. So his number 23 is retired by the New York Yankees. Mattingly finished his career with 2,153 hits, 222 home runs, 1,000 runs scored, 1,100 RBIs, and a lifetime batting average of .307. He is commonly cited as the best Yankee player to have ever played in a World Series, not played in a World Series. His career had bad timing as the Yankees lost the World Series the year before he broke into the big. The Yankees lost the year before that he broke into the big leagues, and they ended up winning the World Series in the first year of his retirement. Not to mention the Yankees had the best record in the AL in '94 before the strike. The World Series drought, '82 to '95, was the longest in Yankees history since the start of the Babe Ruth era, and was worsened by the players' strike in '94, which ended a promising chance for the World Series title. Buck Showalter, Mattingly's last manager during his playing days and a former teammate in the minor leagues, attributed Mattingly's calmness to the controversies he was subject to during his time with the Yankees. The Yankees retired Mattingly's number 23 and dedicated his plaque for Monument Park at Yankee Stadium on August 31st, 1997. The plaque calls him a humble man of grace and dignity, a captain who led by example, proud of the pinstripe tradition and dedicated to the pursuit of excellence, a Yankee forever. Additionally, his uniform number with the double A Nashville Sounds 18 was retired by the team in a ceremony at Herschel Greer Stadium, attended by Mattingly on August 12, 1999. Mattingly was on the Hall of Fame ballot from 2001 to 2015, never getting enough votes for induction. In his first year, he received 145 votes, only 28%, but this steadily declined. By 2009, only 12% of the voters still put him on the ballots. In 2015, Mattingly's eligibility expired after 15 attempts. He had been grandfathered onto the ballot after the committee restricting eligibility to 10 years. Mattingly is now eligible to be inducted into the Hall of Fame via the Modern Baseball Era Committee. Mattingly has been honored by 2 minor league halls of fame. He was inducted into the South Atlantic League Hall of Fame in '94 and the New York Penn League Hall of Fame in '15. In 2001, Mattingly was inducted into the Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame. His plaque displays his phenomenal high school and professional career. In '87, he was named American Legion Graduate of the Year for his success in the major leagues following his American Legion baseball career. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 3 players that was on the thumbnail. George Brett, 3,000 hits. He's only one of 5 players to have at least 3,000 hits or more, 300 home runs or more, and finish your career with at least a 300 batting average. Joining Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, and Miguel Cabrera, who is still playing. Oh, excuse me. And then you got Wade Boggs, who finished also with 3,000 hits, 3,010 hits. Both third basemen. They rank on the. They both rank on the top 5 third basemen all time, with Mike Schmidt being 1, George Brett being 2, Wade Boggs I think is like 5. If I remember correctly from what I read. He finished also with a 300 batting average and 3,000 hits. And then the last one you heard was Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. He had like four or 5 seasons in a row that were awesome dynamite seasons, but he wasn't able to get into the Hall of Fame. So I appreciate everybody to stop by. Roscoe, Soldiers of Jehovah, Jerry Gambuti, Just Chillin', Edwin Rosario. Not Edwin Rosario, just a musician. Edwin Jimenez. Jeez, I can't believe I messed up like that. I'm tired. I can always blame it on that, right? Drop by to show some love, hermano. I don't know baseball, but I just became a Yankees fan. Oh, wow. Not bad. You can just become something all of a sudden at 40 years old, huh? 1985 Royals beat 2 powerful teams in the postseason to win the championship. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. All right, people. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. I just shouted out. Again, if you're coming to the channel for the first time, you're watching the videos, please give me a sub here at What It Do with Big Lou, NFZR2. Give me a sub, like, and share the videos with your family, friends, folks, homies, homeboys, camaradas, comrades, friends, buddy, pals, however you state it. And it's highly appreciated. Also, go to the original channel, No Fly Zone Ricans. Also, give us a sub, like, and share there as well. I respond back to all the comments. Shouts out to Harvey at Harvey Talks Prison. Also, Big Weeby at Doing Time with Big Weeby. Also, Sticks at Stay Awake TV. And that being said, Big Lou tapping on out.